Welcome to Ivan Che Innocent 1 here on YouTube and Facebook. When you subscribe, try your best, try and join this intellectual community and let's grow together. And we better update you with all the relevant key political, socio-economic issues and opinion, your collective progress. These are issues that provide a very dispassionate, in-depth analysis into all the topical, critical issues are relevant. And intina emerging and entreating you say join this family. It is an intellectual community. We are now 30+K. Still we are going on Facebook. We over 70,000. So try and join us and let's grow together. Thank you very much. And me know ever discuss a very important issue. A sharp departure from the tragic way now you witness it in recent times. And I'm sure say issue afawasum. The ongoing issue regarding the suspension of the Chief Justice Tokonu. And multiple cases are filed our various courts. Ghana both Supreme Court and High Court. And me the other corner do na court no a finding no not your fans are worthy you're trashing in atuagu, and still some of the cases are pending. So Siamanoka say ebi the Attorney General filing we are seeking to strike it out. Mameno I go to a further extent of going to ECOWAS court. While we heard that particular video, no, I did a separate video on that particular move now, or they call ECOWAS to a point that all capture ECOWAS for or money over $100,000 from Ghana. Now man whole lot of controversy about Bessin court. And see now no ya die Ghana. We were mourning because that day and try to do a state barrier and a funeral for the departed eight. Unfortunately, tragically, the state was in that country was in the state of mourning. I will be any that's sorry. I think xenophobia from UK bar and the Commonwealth Association and the wills, lawyers and the judges, magistrates. Why I issue statements to the president and the people of this country. Ordinary issues, but because we are globally connected into issues na a concern na obia timichira na dwen suggestions bia will be and you can put across. But where a particular statement seeking to impose certain specific instructions on somebody, asking you to do things as if say wow what my media way and winning nyansa no and about this particular issue very annoying and very nauseating. First of all, as a sensible people group of individuals you are writing to a country and then the president. Now first you take cognizance of the prevailing circumstances and the situation on the ground. Nipa no mu went for national assignment. Also, you care about the country, and then the people who have fallen must capture your key interest. So in your letter, you first commiserate with the state. Say, oh, tragically, we know you have lost because Nipana Yelusu, just not any other individual. So we are talking about the defense minister of a country. We are talking about a minister of state, or MP. And several other prominent people, military guys, a pilot, and so forth. So, as a sensible group of individuals purporting to be writing a letter or a statement to a particular sovereign country, the first thing is to express that kind of condolences. Now, we identify with Nema or Minu Kum at the time, and Sana, the will be a person, Sana Yansanibia, but these people were dodgy, and you cannot tell me say they were oblivious to the current prevailing. They knew, and then they went ahead and say they've been following keenly. I don't want to read the letter word for word because it's so annoying and very nauseating. They've taken cognizance of the processes that are involved with the Chief Justice and the forum, and Omoke can say a fair process has not been activated. And if Omofri say kwanya efaso ede ma me no di no enya kwan papa so ni human right has been abused, can say hunu bebere ya omo be wie no, then they commanded the president in the letter say with immediate effect on restore woman no and I make her say I don't know whether it's the real bar UK then as for the Troy now some hooligans been hiding behind this whole emblem then as for writing that pack of nonsense. First of all, Ghana is not a colonial trophy. Ghana is a sovereign country governed by rules, democracy. The rules govern Ghana no. Those same principles now democracy everywhere adheres to the same guiding principles and a Ghana woman and emra wa Ghana and a govern name be a saying a particular process has been set in motion. The premise article 140 saying 146 and a set in motion all these processes and as a form and say Ghana Bar Association Babontin Bakasaye, the MPP started this crusade and then their partners somewhere have joined the crusade. None of them has been able to provide a single sensible, reasonable legal basis. Move free said that's far the process we've gone through. No precedent in a breach BB, and for that particular reason, no, they are asking for a remedy. Aside the usual emotional hymns and emotional choruses, no, they haven't been able to provide any sensible basis be a justify why some more kind of president begus because my cultural process na ye komo ene no sa na omodi obia from pay Charlotte say went through the process. We may have issues with the provisions over the years and my culture is a part of our constitution, but these are individuals who had the power to have influenced the constitutional rule but they didn't. So as the state law no it in its current state says no whether it's fair or not, no, it is the same way I apply in the past and I apply her, and nobody has deviated from any of these things. And they contend say president no emfama me no rana makase nkrofo we say yare do mo madwen mo say arrogance no na mo free say Ghana still because it doesn't even make sense because the rana kire say when Council of State it may establish say yes indeed there is merit in the case that has been established against the Chief Justice. I don't know in legal terms or what kind of the premier facie. If that is established, the next line as the constitution prescribed must be communicated to the president. President he has to set constitutional layout after hearing some of the options that are available to the president, and these are exclusive executive presidential powers. The Constitution of Ghana gives to the President of the Republic of Ghana, and no court on asasi way so now taking that powers away from the president unless there is a constitutional review. And the law says as a president in SAR communication now he has a responsibility one to set up a committee, and the committee must be two judges from the Supreme Court, other individual lawyers and that particular rule the president followed it to the latter or had the composition of individuals on the panel or not as prescribed by the constitution. The president set it up. Then the constitution also gives the president a discretionary power to exercise. It said the president may, in the course of the adjudication committee, the president has the power, and that is exclusive even though it is discretionary. And it says that maybe they should look at the Ghana's constitution and says the president to suspend or allow the Chief Justice to do the work pending the investigation. So the constitutional framers of this country thought it wise say through that option na yewo akwanya mienu president no akwanya mienu either say obema Chief Justice na tena ho ana say obema na kwatena fie obia at this point obia nyi Chief Justice adio. But pending the investigation, the president is only following the prescriptions of the constitution. And he say manentana and I say manentana fie, and Muhammad decides say me manatana fie. What is your beef? Where lies this legal contradiction and this kind of nauseating arrogance coming from these demagogues who sit somewhere and they think that whether it's absolute nonsense? just a piece of a pack of trash. And that is why I'm making say I don't know whether they are real people we think they are, or they are shadow some kind of maybe or more hiding behind writing some of this nonsense, because it doesn't make sense. And again, President exercised that particular power. And again, in the letter, I'm told, say, I said the woman is not being represented. The Constitution says that the woman can be represented or by the lawyers, and now both. And so far, the lawyers in young course or more representing will be a more free. So where lies the intimidation and the disrespect she's talking about? Where lies those senseless arguments? The beacon behind this conversation that has been triggered by these individuals, thinking, say, in their twisted minds, they can call on the President of the Republic of Ghana and instruct him to act in a particular manner because they are Commonwealth. You are mad. You see, and I make because of said yes, any idiot anywhere thinks they are superior, better, and they can dictate to you what to do. For Christ's sake, this is a sovereign country. And if the processes that has been set in motion that far, as a president Afumemra, and I was circumventing any of the processes, I will be the first person to voice out, because injustice is something we've all been guiding against. But as it stands now, nobody. And then they say one of the cases, nipa na omo afa case, they up to chief justices, will be a new moment as for nowhere in the Constitution they say obi yet a file petition against the chief justice na omo ye group. They must identify themselves, and now say they should be a registered company. No, many and madam for betting can wabom yet for dimbia to your so and who say akwa we ya chere so kotomona enti for that mean I form a dear to you, so we cannot go to the police station and I be in court and testify. And again, you don't need a person in person to come and testify. They can get in other people to do so on their behalf. And we took on the judges naturally, and I antehana your father saying, Jamin say on a nam way, Chachuchi kata saw the nebesha box, and there's no one country the crew, Masanya by force. You can't force Obi to testify, so and there you can force Obi to come and testify. As some no more canon, a legal basis on Bejiatum. And the word defense be a focus. So why is the Chief Justice not focusing on the defense now, or if she has a credible defense to buy herself out, rather going about these things? And again, the Commonwealth we know the person in question here is fighting some of the things she deemed injustice. Ghana, a court of competent jurisdiction, and she's still fighting the same say we're filing a case. Ain't are you saying that the process is goes to a court? No, I had Yamontungwan and see Chairman. I am yading. You see, Africans and very often some of these nonsense or more 2 years so. Now, if you UK about human rights abuses our Ghana. In this modern civilized era where you will me, look at what they are doing to immigrant. Immigrant by force. Rwanda against their wishes. We see it all over on TV, and they make it look like they have agreed. Immigrants who enter UK illegally are being bundled like criminals. They are sending them to Rwanda, and they are looking for other places to ship them. You think that is not a human right abuse? What kind of childish arrogance is this? You need to understand that Ghana is not a colonial trophy. This is a sovereign country, and these people avail themselves and they care so much about the judicial independence and the judicial credibility of Ghana. That's okay, that's fine. So where were you when recently the president was packing the court to the extent that somebody or a failed parliamentary candidate was slotted in to sit at the Supreme Court? You could have voiced out at the time when people were complaining. when the judiciary became so dirty to a point, and Ghana for prefers over top on Chinunkusuakubudua rather than to go to court because injustice, fraud, and everything was all over at the time. You see, he who comes into equity must come with the clean hands. And I think the Attorney General response, he was a bit charitable because men are mutual response to you are Ebianka Okanwe ya law no kura bejaye because Chianka meka chiro wo mu no Okanwe ya here ade e fe ne law be power num enya o de biem because the impudence, the arrogance, and even the energy to put these things together, instructing Ghana. I would have appreciated, say, oh, you've been able to outline so and so, are you wrong? So and so contradicted with the constitution. So is in direct contravention. This. Then we can argue. We can have that intellectual argument. But let us not from top to down, no. Not even a single infraction and a multi identifier, and you rather base this argument on hearsay, suppositions, assumptions, and hearsay, and you think that is enough. I give you that energy to come to Ghana and command the president, say he should. What nonsense. And America, you can't blame them. Greed. And your friend is saying, and one person in Kumiantino, the resources that are supposed to be distributed equitably for development and then as a form, you're sacrificing to satisfy individual, your friend is saying, parochial interest into your mind at Tiapansam. So any idiot anywhere can say anything, seek to instruct you and tell you anything. As human rights abuses and as for intense and as for normal, you can talk about it, but in this particular case, because if the constitution provide two remedy in such a situation, the president decide to go the other way, and the president say, could you have also issued a statement asking him, said the constitution says he also has the power to suspend a woman and you're suspending her. Oh, you see, before you put yourself forward, no, making sure say your back is against the wall, and as na walk cannot acquire now when nipa be first question because you are even giving people reason to believe say indeed these are intellectuals and now say these are intellectual pushovers because it doesn't make sense, and these are childish statement. I don't even expect to be on finance law school demo that to do this. The processes that this woman is being subjected to, it's not a novelty. This is a process people have been subjected to over and over. I've been making this constant reference. Yet Roman and ask investigation judges when the petition was submitted to the president, forwarded to the chief justice, ultimately establishing merit in the case. President Akufo-Addo wrote a letter suspending all the 4 judges pending investigation. It's not as if said there is no precedent. We have it here because it is a discretionary power given to the president, and it is sought from the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So how dare you sit anywhere and say the president should resign? Some of these nonsense, we keep hearing them. Some of this nonsense will be reoccurring. And again, I must say, the timelines now, this whole thing, no. If you read the constitution, it is quite clear. The committee has been given a mandate. If it provides timelines, then the timelines will be adhered to. If there is no timeline, it means that they may have enough room to do whatever. It is not for Elbia or to baby as a Elbia anymore, and wherever you are, I don't even know whether they recognize or they respect you where you are. Because human rights abuses and then as a form of also living conditions are so well said now man for muti you can watch as a form of no. Their human rights abuse been a chance anima way. Black people are more what they have been subjected to. Yantiana and so muko to go a man for some mukrum as a form. Yenina after stealing millions in gold from Africa, are colonizing a man for and your people are bold enough to tell blacks or more so mukrum meting inhuman treatment and then as for to them, you leave all these things and come here and tell people how to govern. I think we've had enough of this nonsense, and I don't want to labor much on this particular topic. And I think the appropriate response and way the mono AG. And he made it quite clear, say, Ghana is a sovereign country, independent country, governed by law. Anything is within. So, Obi Free say, outside the prescriptions of the constitution of this country, the next remedy, a court, you go to court. You don't sit somewhere and be writing absolute trash and be sending it over, commanding people to do things. Major reduction in the saying the fact that Ghana is a signatory to Commonwealth does not give you the power to dictate to us as a sovereign country what to do here, when we've all agreed that there is a need for us to reset our judiciary. And if you don't know, it's one of the main reasons Ghana for Kodila is about, because the things we were seeing constantly was hurting the integrity of our judiciary. Did you care? I think you guys should give us a break. Maybe I'm not telling you, you've lost your essence, relevance. Now you want to be this is not an avenue. Ghana is not a launching pad to get your credibility back. That people are being shipped like animals from UK to Rwanda and other places. Go fight for them. That is human right abuse right in front of your noses, and spare us this nonsense. And I think that we've had enough of this. So this is Ivan Che Innocent One here on YouTube, on Facebook as well. When you subscribe, try subscribe to this channel and let's grow together. My culture, we're gonna have very dispassionate analysis, in depth into all the critical issues and you see, I didn't want to. I have both letters here. The letter written by these demagogues, and then the other one written by the AG. I don't want to waste your time, but that is why I try to brush it and then trash this whole nonsense these people brought forth. I think we need to remain focused and make sure processing and activating will get to its logical conclusion. At the end of the day, the outcome, I don't have any issues. I don't have any issue, and I want to ensure that the fair process has been activated thus far. Will proceed to its logical conclusion. It's all that I seek, and I'm sure any reasonable minded person out there behind the same you seek out there. Let's wait and see how it goes. But some of these flimsy excuses, those here and there, some of these people to come to her aid unprovided grounds out there defending in the accusations but this procedural approach, trying to brand the whole system as an enemy, be chasing you when the key issues you accuse you are not attending to them. That is coward and tactics that is often employed by the guilty minds to wriggle out of legal processes and injunctions. And this time around, trust me, you're not going to wriggle out. We will go full length of this issue.